Welcome to the Stronger with Age podcast. Because aging is just the beginning. And, in this deep dive, we're going to be focusing on something that's incredibly vital for a long and healthy life, and that is the
Mhm.
power of our social connections. We've been looking at a whole range of articles and research exploring just how deeply woven our social lives are with our well being and even how long we live.
Right.
So, our goal today is to really pull out the key insights and some surprising truths
Yeah.
about how nurturing those connections can help you not just age, but thrive.
It's remarkable how consistently the evidence just underscores this. When we think about staying healthy as we get older,
Hmm.
things like diet and exercise rightly come to mind.
Yeah,
But the data is becoming clearer and clearer. Our social world is every bit as fundamental to our health and longevity.
absolutely. Okay, so let's really dig into this. It seems this need to connect with others isn't just something nice to have, it's wired into us. Some of the research even talks about our brains being hardwired to connect. When you think about it from an evolutionary perspective, being part of a group was often crucial for survival.
That's a crucial point. And when those connections fray or disappear, the impact can be profound.
Hmm.
The research we've examined highlights some really serious negative health consequences linked to social isolation and loneliness. One statistic that really jumped out at me is the increased risk of premature death, with some studies suggesting it's as harmful as smoking 15 cigarettes a day.
Wow.
Think about that for a moment.
Yeah.
Something as seemingly intangible as social connection, having such a concrete impact on our lifespan.
Yeah, that's not hyperbole. Research equates the health impact of being severely isolated
Yeah.
to a very heavy smoking habit. It underscores just how critical this is. And it's not just about how long we live, is it? The articles also point to higher rates of depression, dementia, and even self-neglect among older adults who are socially isolated. It paints a really concerning picture of the potential downsides.
It does. And the data goes further, indicating a greater risk for a whole spectrum of physical health problems as well, including high blood pressure, heart disease, obesity, a weaker immune system, anxiety, cognitive decline, and even Alzheimer's disease. It's almost like a cascade effect, where a lack of social connection weakens so many different aspects of our overall health.
And it sounds like this isn't some isolated issue affecting only a few people. One of our sources mentioned that roughly one-fourth of older adults living in their own homes experience social isolation. That's a significant portion of the population.
It is, which is why understanding the positive side of this,
Mm.
the powerful benefits of strong social connections, is so important. The research consistently shows that these connections are vital contributors to both living longer and enjoying better overall health.
So let's turn our attention to those positive impacts. Our sources break down the benefits in some really compelling ways, starting with our mental well-being. It seems social connections aren't just about feeling good in the moment. They have a real tangible effect on our psychological health. One of the most immediate impacts you might notice from stronger social ties is a significant reduction in that pervasive feeling of loneliness, which research shows can be incredibly detrimental to both mental and physical health.
Precisely. The articles highlight reductions in loneliness and depression,
Mm.
which are unfortunately common challenges as we age. But the benefits extend beyond that, including increased self-confidence, a brighter mood, and even a decrease in PTSD symptoms.
Mm.
It suggests that strong social support can act as a real buffer against the effects of trauma, which is a powerful insight.
That's fascinating about the PTSD connection. And the list continues. Greater empathy, a stronger sense of purpose, and an improved feeling of self-worth are all linked to being socially engaged. It really underscores how interconnected our inner world is with our interactions with others.
Exactly. And it's not just about how we feel right now.
Mhm.
Strong social connections appear to offer a form of protection against mental decline as we age,
Hmm.
which is a significant benefit when we consider maintaining our cognitive health over the long haul.
Which leads us perfectly into the next area, cognitive function. The research here seems particularly strong, suggesting that social connections can significantly slow down the rate of cognitive decline and even reduce the risk of dementia. One study even pointed to a potential reduction of up to 70%, which is an incredible figure.
It is, and researchers are beginning to understand why this might be the case. The articles mention several contributing factors,
Hmm.
including reduced symptoms of depression and improved sleep quality, both of which are often linked to regular social interaction.
Right.
We know how disruptive poor sleep and depression can be to our cognitive abilities at any age.
Yeah.
Additionally, some research suggests that older adults with more robust social networks tend to have stronger social cognitive skills and may even exhibit larger brain volumes in certain areas associated with memory and processing. which have been linked to a lower risk of dementia. It's almost as if our social engagement keeps our brains more active and more resilient.
Right, like a mental workout, as you said earlier.
Think of it like a mental workout.
And there's also a biological component involved, right? Something about lower levels of inflammatory proteins.
Yes, that's another really interesting piece of the puzzle. Research indicates that adults with healthy social lives, particularly women in some studies, tend to have lower levels of inflammatory proteins in their bodies. Think of inflammation like a low-grade fire burning inside you.
Okay.
Chronic social isolation seems to fan those flames, while connection helps to dampen them. Since chronic inflammation is implicated in various age-related diseases, including Alzheimer's, this could be a key mechanism by which social ties offer protection.
So it's clear that strong social connections aren't just good for our minds. They offer a remarkable array of benefits for our physical health as well. Where do we even begin to unpack all of those?
It is a pretty extensive list. The sources suggest that a more active lifestyle is often a direct consequence of being socially engaged. If you have plans with friends or family, you're naturally less likely to spend the entire day inactive at home.
Right.
This increased activity then contributes to better cardiovascular health, which in turn can lead to lower blood pressure and a reduced risk of hypertension, both significant health concerns as we age.
Absolutely. And the positive impacts don't stop there, do they?
Not at all. Some research even hints at a decreased risk for certain types of cancers, osteoporosis and rheumatoid arthritis, in individuals who maintain strong social connections. While more research is always ongoing, to fully understand these links, the initial findings are certainly promising.
And perhaps one of the most compelling points is the potential for a longer lifespan. The data suggests that regular social interaction can contribute to longer lives for both men and women, with some studies showing significant reductions in mortality rates, particularly among men.
That really speaks volumes about the power of our social world. Beyond just the number of years, the articles also touch on aspects like better sleep quality, faster recovery times from illnesses, and even lower levels of overall inflammation in the body among those with strong social networks. It truly highlights how deeply intertwined our physical and social well-being are.
You know, one of the sources we looked at referenced the Harvard study of adult development for anyone who isn't familiar. This study has been tracking individuals for nearly 80 years. The long-term data they've collected provides incredibly robust insights into what contributes to a good life.
That study is an absolute treasure trove of information,
Yeah.
and one of its key findings, highlighted in several of our sources, is that close relationships are a more powerful predictor of a long and happy life than factors like social class, IQ, or even our genes. Think about that for a moment. All the things we often chase in life might be secondary to the strength of our friendships when it comes to long-term well-being.
It's truly profound. And it gets even more specific. A study found that satisfaction in your relationships at age 50 was a better predictor of your physical health at age 80 than your cholesterol levels. That's just mind-blowing.
It really drives home the point that actively nurturing our relationships is a critical form of self-care with significant long-term payoffs. And as many of our sources emphasize, it's the quality of those relationships, not just the sheer number of acquaintances we have, that truly matters. Meaningful connections are the key.
Okay, so we have a really clear picture now of why social connections are so crucial. Let's shift gears and talk about the how. What practical strategies do our sources suggest for building and maintaining these vital connections, especially as we navigate the aging process?
Senior living communities are frequently mentioned, and it's easy to see why. These communities are often specifically designed with social engagement in mind. They offer a built-in social infrastructure with a variety of programs, activities, and welcoming common spaces that naturally foster interaction.
Right. The articles provide some great examples of the kinds of things you might find. Everything from enjoyable activities like casino nights and group karaoke to more skill-based options like drumming classes and fitness centers. There are also opportunities for connection through things like men's breakfasts, women's teas, even puppy yoga, who knew, as well as pen pal programs and volunteer opportunities within the community. The key here is that these activities aren't just about filling time. They're designed to create shared experiences and opportunities for people to interact and form bonds naturally.
Exactly. And it's not just the organized activities. The physical layout of these communities plays a significant role. Most feature indoor common areas for socializing, outdoor patios for gathering entertainment spaces for events, walking paths to encourage interaction in arts and crafts studios for shared creative pursuits, all of which provide natural settings for social interaction to flourish.
Beyond the setting of senior living communities, our sources also discuss broader strategies for community engagement. It sounds like creating environments that are truly inclusive is essential, ensuring that activities and events cater to a diverse range of interests and abilities, so that everyone feels welcome and has opportunities to participate.
Absolutely. Facilitating social connections. Through organized events, support groups focused on shared experiences, and community outings also plays a vital role. These provide structured opportunities for older adults to connect with one another and build meaningful relationships. I've seen firsthand in support groups how sharing experiences with others facing similar challenges can create incredibly strong bonds and provide a vital sense of not being alone.
And the importance of volunteering in the wider community comes up again here. It's not just about giving back, although that's certainly a benefit. It also provides a sense of purpose and a chance to connect with others who share similar values and a desire to contribute.
Precisely. And intergenerational programs are another valuable strategy, creating opportunities for seniors to connect with younger individuals. These connections can be incredibly enriching for both age groups, offering different perspectives and a sense of mutual learning and understanding.
Now, for individuals who may not be in a senior living community or whose local community lacks robust engagement programs, what practical steps can you take to strengthen your social connections?
The sources offer a wealth of actionable advice at the most fundamental level. It's about prioritizing and spending quality time with your existing family and friends. This might require a conscious effort to schedule regular get-togethers, or simply to be more present during your interactions. Volunteering in your local community, as we've discussed, is another excellent avenue for meeting new people and feeling connected.
Joining community groups that align with your personal hobbies and interests is a natural way to connect with like-minded individuals. Whether it's a book club, a gardening group, or a hiking club, shared passions can be a powerful foundation for building friendships. And in today's digital age, we can't overlook the role of technology. Video calls and social media platforms, when used intentionally, can be valuable tools for staying connected with loved ones who live far away.
For those who might be considering a move, exploring senior living communities specifically for their structured social activities and the built-in opportunities for connection is certainly an option worth considering. It's also important to be aware of and utilize any transportation support services that might be available in your area. Sometimes the biggest barrier to social engagement is simply getting there.
Some of the more personal advice from the sources includes being proactive and reaching out to others and suggesting plans, rather than always waiting for invitations, showing genuine curiosity about others, and demonstrating that you care about their lives, being trustworthy and reliable in your interactions, and being willing to be a little vulnerable in sharing your own experiences are all crucial for building deeper and more meaningful connections.
Yes, and the articles also suggest actively joining sports groups or pursuing hobbies in a social setting. Even exploring online communities and virtual groups can be surprisingly beneficial, particularly if in-person interaction is somewhat limited. Enrolling in courses for lifelong learning not only keeps your mind sharp, but also provides a fantastic opportunity to meet new people who share your intellectual curiosity. And of course, simply making a concerted effort to attend social events when possible, even if it feels a little outside your comfort zone at first, can make a significant difference over time. The recurring theme really is that building and maintaining social connections requires intentional effort and a willingness to put yourself out there.
It sounds like an investment that truly pays off, and it's worth remembering the science behind why these connections are so powerful. One of our sources mentioned the release of oxytocin during genuine social interactions, which is often referred to as the feel-good or love hormone. It plays a key role in reducing anxiety and improving our focus, acting as a biological reward for connecting with others.
That's right. It's not just a psychological benefit.
Yeah.
There's a fundamental chemical component at play that reinforces our desire for social connection. And at a deeper cellular level, the sources touch on how loneliness can actually increase processes like oxidative stress and mitochondrial dysfunction, which are linked to accelerated aging and various diseases. Conversely, strong social networks appear to help mitigate these negative cellular effects. Think of your cells like tiny machines. Loneliness can throw sand in the gears, causing them to wear out faster, while connection helps keep them running smoothly.
It really highlights the profound interplay between our social lives and our very biology. One of the sources even mentions something called the social framework. Can you tell us a little more about that?
The social framework, which stands for Systems Approach of Cross-Sector Integration and Action Across the Lifespan, is essentially a broader initiative aimed at creating a society that truly values and supports social connectedness for everyone. throughout all stages of life. It recognizes that social disconnection is a significant public health issue and seeks to provide a roadmap for individuals, communities, and even policymakers to foster greater social integration and well-being.
That sounds like a really important initiative, recognizing this as a systemic issue that requires a multifaceted approach. So bringing it back to you, our listener, what's the key message we want to leave you with today?
It's about recognizing the profound and far-reaching impact that your social connections have on your overall health and well-being as you age. The evidence is compelling and consistent. Staying socially connected isn't just a pleasant pastime. It's a fundamental pillar of healthy aging and longevity.
And it really does sound like investing in these relationships is, as one of our sources so aptly put it, totally worth it and offers the highest return in terms of happiness and well-being.
Absolutely. And
Okay.
the encouraging thing is that it's truly never too late to build new relationships
Right.
or to reconnect with old friends. Even making small, consistent efforts to nurture your social ties can make a significant and positive difference in the long run.
Okay, there you have it. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Stay tuned for upcoming episodes. Bye.